Hi and welcome back. My name is Deneen. You can call me D. I'm an astrologer and I teach people the psychology behind marketing using astrology, okay? So we're going to be getting into Pluto in the first house and how it affects you in your natal birth chart. Yes, Pluto in the first house is quite similar to Pluto in the 12th house, but it is not the same thing, all right? And we're going to be breaking down exactly why, all right? So let's get into it. Now, my Pluto in the first house, you also have come into this lifetime with the mindset that you are going to be different than what you were from lifetimes before. Pluto in the first house, having an outer planet inside of something like your first house, is creating a lot of energy, okay, and a lot of magnetism for you to draw in the resources, specifically people that you need, so that you are able to challenge yourself and challenge your personality and assimilate and integrate things that you need for you to become who it is that you want to be in this lifetime. And a lot of times that takes a lot of trial and error, which is why you have something like Pluto that is helping you do this and do this big transformation, okay, and take on this direction that you want to have in life. All right, now also Pluto inside of your first house, you could have been born with something like a disorder, specifically a genital disorder, because it deals with the first house, your appearance, the way you look, your body, all right, or something that was a little bit different okay, about your body. All right, so this is Pluto in the first house. So Pluto in the first house, what happens here is that early on in your childhood, you have something that happens and goes on with you, and it usually involves your immediate environment or a power or authority figure in your life, okay? And the reason why I say this is because opposite the first house is the seventh house, the sword on which we use to sharpen our personality. And also the first house deals with how your life is directed, or the unfoldment of your direction in life, okay? And with Pluto in the first house, early on, you could have had something that was embarrassing, something that you considered shameful happen to you, or something that just really messed with your ego image that happened to you early on. If you want to know or key into what that event most likely was, you can check the dispositor and the aspects that are being made to that dispositor, okay? Now, moving forward, so you can be the type of person who is into the shade black, or you can just dress yourself in darker shades, okay? If you have Pluto on your ascendant, you can most definitely have a position of authority, or you can just most definitely have this intensity about your personality that you do present to the world, or is noticeable when people meet you. You do leave a big impression on people that you do meet, okay? Because Pluto is activating that whole access, not just the first house, but also the seventh house as well. Now, Pluto being in your first house, like I said, to check the dispositor so that you can key more into this early experience that has happened early on in your life that has transformed you, but also made it so that during those moments or when things like that happen to you, you're able to stand up for yourself and really be there for yourself in a way that you weren't when you were younger, okay? With Pluto inside of your first house, you might want to isolate yourself or keep to yourself when it comes to a lot of the things that you want to do or pursue in your direction in life, but actually you're magnetizing in, and you are going to magnetize in people, okay, that seventh house associated, that come into your life, that are meant to show you how you can take this power back yourself, okay? As you get older and as you mature, you're going to be able to take this power on, and this can be seen as intimidating, and this can attract and repel people because you're understanding how to use this power that may or may not have been taken from you when you were younger. And this is not always the case, okay? So don't think you have Pluto in the first house and something insane happened to you. Yes, Pluto in the first house, you do have a lot of things, and you do magnetize a lot of people towards you that can bring about situations where there is betrayal, okay? There is your ego image being popped, and it is a lot of I'm not going to say trust issues, but second guessing and hesitancy around people that you want to draw into your life. But you're actually meant to draw people into your life who are going to change your life by showing you how to use this power that you have, okay? Because you do have it. Now, Pluto in the first house, the attraction or the repulsion that people feel towards you is actually about you being able to use your power. All right, what do I mean by that? As you are able to use your power and you learn, you become more self-aware of this power it is that you do have, that is underneath the surface, getting ready to rise up, because it's not just one transformation, but a lot of transformations over your whole lifetime that you're going to take. Okay, and especially with, if you're living during this time, you have Pluto that just made a movement, okay? So that's affecting you as well. But Pluto inside of the first house, as you learn to use this power, you learn your direction in life. And because Pluto is a very outside planet sitting inside a very personal angle like the first house, especially if it's sitting on your angle, okay, it is very much influencing the attraction and the repulsion that you're bringing in, because your first house and the planet being placed there is putting emphasis that you have something to present to the world, and then putting even more emphasis with an outer planet like Pluto sitting inside of your first house is putting emphasis on the direction that you're going to take. So the attraction and the things that you attract in or that you repel is due to the direction that you're taking on in life, okay, and what it is that you need to learn and master in order to use this power in a way that, one, you are self-aware, but two, you are able to, from the things that happen in your early childhood, take that power back in a way that it brings you power to know that you went through that, okay? It makes a whole different ego image for you by you being able to face the things that happened to you in your childhood, okay? Also, Pluto in the first house can bring a lot of manipulative people, or people who just were involved with things like drugs or just other things that you wouldn't want to be exposed to early on in your life, okay? And these people are people that you grew up around, or people that you were around, okay, for whatever reason early on in your childhood, okay? Now, Pluto in the first house can have some similarities to Pluto in the 12th house, because it does take and bring the Pluto person, the Pluto native, away from people. But it only does that so that this person can dig deep and really get to the bottom of who it is that they are and what direction in life that it is that they want to take, who it is that they want to be. And sometimes they need to be away from the 7th house, that edge that we sharpen things on, because they need to transmute the things that have happened to them so that it changes them, okay? So the change does very much come from people outside of you, but the change is also internal, because Pluto is involved, okay? Pluto is involved. And the ego image that you have of yourself is what you're transmuting, okay? You're transmuting that into something else based off the experiences that it is that you've drawn in from the 7th house people, okay? And as you learn to wield your power better, the people that you're drawing in is going to be completely different. So Pluto in the first house mimics Pluto in the 12th house sometimes, because Pluto in the 12th house, all right, say for example, I read in whole sign, okay, you guys, but say for example, you're reading in a different house system. You have Pluto, and say it's rising and it's sitting at the beginning of the first house, but at the end of the 12th house, okay? So if it's up towards there and you have the ascendant sitting lower inside of the degrees, then you can also have a little bit of similarities, or this mimic the 12th house. And in this case, this is being more so an emphasis on isolation, and also the person that prays and the person who takes on different methods, okay, for them to really can go behind the scenes or behind the doors, and they can actually fix that problem with spiritual means. Like, this person can be involved with a couple of spiritual practices, okay, that they take on themselves to help this manifestation come through so that they can solve this problem, all right, and defend themselves, but they're doing it in a way where it's not seen, because the 12th house deals with, yes, the womb of your mother, but the 12th house also is where you yourself resided, okay, before you came into physical form here in the world that we know today, okay? So Pluto inside of the 12th house, you can also have this person deal with meditation, deal with prayer, and this is how that they bring things into existence, all right? They're dealing with their spirit, okay? They're dealing with their spirit because the 12th house is a water house, all right? And water houses do deal with the spiritual side of things, along with a couple of other things. I'll have that video coming up for you guys soon, okay? But this is Pluto inside of the first house, and that's how that differs from Pluto in the 12th house, all right? And Pluto in the 12th house too, their early on experiences, or what it is that happens to them early on, is actually not all the time something that they consciously remember or something that they even know happened to them, because this could have happened to them in the womb. It could have happened to their mother, and this has been an imprint on them as a child, okay? This could have happened to their ancestors, because 12th house does deal with the ancestry. It is connected to your ancestors, your family, okay? And with having Pluto inside of the 12th house, something could have happened to their ancestors. That's a secret that people don't know about, okay? Or that isn't commonly talked about. And that's how that differs from Pluto in the first house. And that's why even no matter what house system it is that you have, you should check where Pluto is positioned. And you should check, especially if you have it close to the cusp, okay? You have it close to the cusp of your 12th house, the end of your 12th house, or if you have it more closer to your ascendant, especially within 5 degrees of your ascendant, okay? Because the potency and how it manifests is going to be changed up from that, all right? So if you like this and this resonated with you, all right, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you hit subscribe so that you don't ever miss out. And I'll be seeing you guys later. Bye.